Welcome, and thanks, Cheryl, for taking the time out to chat to me.
Oh, it's a pleasure. I must tell you though that I'm driving at the moment. I'm not driving. My husband's driving, so I hope that we don't lose the signal.
Right, okay. Well, I'll be quick as I can. Anyway,
All
so
right.
Cheryl, we're here to chat about these events that you're doing and these intimate evenings
Yes,
that
I
you're
know. Yeah,
wearing
looking
with
forward to them.
wearing with Cheryl. 50 years, so congratulations. Or I will ask, does it feel like 50 years, or is them 50 years just where's them 50 years gone?
You just cut out. I can't hear you. I'm so sorry.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, so I'm just saying, like
Oh, you're there. You're
it's
there.
yeah, 50 years. So does it seem like 50 years?
No, it doesn't. It doesn't feel like 50 minutes.
Right. Okay. And how do you feel about sort of do? Are you anxious about doing this sort of events kind of thing? You excited because
I know
it's
I do get very anxious. I do. I enjoy it. At the end, I think, oh well, I really enjoyed that. But at the beginning, I'm shaking like a leaf.
yeah,
It's my happy place is when I go on stage with the rest of Fizz. You
yeah,
know, because I've got a safety net around me of three other people.
sure.
But I have been doing this show on the ships for years now, for decades, a couple of decades, and so I'm used to it. But I do still get nervous every time.
Yeah. Well, it's quite a challenging thing to do because I suppose you're just laying your kind of vulnerable self on the line as well, kind of thing. Do you know what I mean? It is quite a challenging, brave thing to do, really.
I didn't quite catch that. I'm so sorry.
Yeah, I think it's quite a brave thing to do, isn't it, really?
Are you cutting out? I can't hear. I'm sorry. I'm on the M25.
Yeah, I was just saying it's quite a brave thing to do.
That was lovely and clear. Thank you. Yes, it is brave because you'll know that when you come on. Oh, you'll see me literally quaking in my boots before I go on. So it is a brave thing to do, but it seems to go down well. I mean, this will be when I go to the Lowry. It'll be the very first time that I'll have done it in a theatre in the UK. Um, and what I've been doing on the ships has been like half as long, 45 minutes long or something. But I'm looking forward to it. But I do have trepidation, that's for sure.
And also as well, like with the because the new members as well of the Fizz as well. So how are they sort of fitting in with things? And it must have been sort of because I know obviously Jay would have been sad that Mike left as well, but between you and Mike Nolan, there was certainly like a great rapport and stuff like that. So that must have been sort of hard on you, kind of thing, with Mike leaving.
Fed up with the travelling, and he just wanted to stay at home. I tell you what changed him was lockdown. He enjoyed lockdown. He lives right on the coast. He used to walk along the promenade down in Kent every day, and he didn't want to go back to work. And it took a couple of years. We did continue working with him for a couple of years, but it lost the heart in it. It lost the love for it, and so I still see him. I mean, I saw him a few days ago, and I talk to him most every day. So, we're still best buddies, but we just don't work together anymore.
And I'm also interested to know as well, like, with your career and, you've done so much with singing, acting, presenting, stuff like that. How was it that sort of perceived when you were sort of like, because you've had that sort of dream and, the ambition and stuff like that. Was that always sort of determined sort of like in your school life and sort of like with your careers officer or were they sort of saying, oh, why don't you get your nice little 9 to 5 job, no stress, you know?
I did. When I left school, I had a 9 to 5 job for 5 years. But I had this dream that I wanted to be a singer in a band. And in the end, I just an advert for a girl singer required, and I thought, well, it's now or never. And I jumped in and I passed the audition, and that was that. That was the start of my crazy career.
Right, okay, yeah. Oh, for the best. And I interviewed Jay 2 years ago as well, and obviously, you guys are best known for the winning the Eurovision and stuff like that. So I asked this sort of question to Jay. I'm interested in sort of like what your sort of opinion on it is now, and things have obviously changed over the years, advanced technology and stuff like that. But what's your actual opinion now on the Eurovision kind of thing?
But can't compare it to how it was when we did it. When we did it, it was just a bunch of stuffed shirts, people in the audience that had to wear smart suits and posh frocks and didn't really want to be there. Now, the audience is a proper Eurovision fan audience, and they're all cheering for each other and there's flags waving and the magnificent, the huge arenas that they do it in and the fantastic special effects and the lighting. I think it's better. Every year it seems to get better and better, and so I much prefer it now than how it used to be.
Right, yeah. I mean, maybe I was just sort of saying to Jay, maybe I've just come a bit of a grumpy old man kind of thing. But I thought, like, when you got, because speaking as a fan as well and seeing it as a kid, we didn't have all this sort of AI technology, and I don't know. I think somewhere along the line, the actual product has sort of gone missing, kind of thing. About the song, it just seems to be about the camaraderie of the show, and what costumes and blah blah blah. I mean, when you guys did it, it was. I mean, it wasn't even like a song. I think for like it was just an instant hit where people just thought, "That's great. That is what we're looking for." And it stood the test of time. It stood the test of time. You know.
I think it's still the same though. There's always a standout song. In my opinion, or a standout few songs that you think, well, it's going to be one of those, and generally it is. I know that we haven't done so well in, past years, but to be perfectly honest, I don't think we've had the best song in past years, apart from Sam Ryder. I don't think there's been a song good enough from the UK to win.
Yeah.
So no, I like all the special effects and the way that it's gone. I think it's, you've got to keep up with the times, haven't you? We can't live in the past. We don't live in the past.
Yeah.
So if the future is AI and it's making the Eurovision even more colourful and more exciting, I'm all for it. I mean, I was there in Liverpool and I thought to see the stage hands change the stage for the next act in a matter of seconds blew me away. I thought it was phenomenal. So bring it on. I'm all for it.
Right. Okay. And as well, also like all over the year. I mean, 50 years of your showbiz career and stuff like that. And obviously, I don't know you, but from seeing you live and the interviews and stuff like that, you have such drive, you have such passion, you have such energy, and that's not slowed down, in my opinion. That's just gone up 100 notches as I've watched you over the years go by. It really has. But was there any sort of point in your career where, and I'm just talking because, and I know this is the ugly side of the industry and you won't be the first person to go through all this, but I'm just sort of talking about like with the legal wrangles, with the band and the name and stuff like that. Did you ever sort of think, oh, do you know what? I really didn't sign up for this. Did you ever get disheartened where it felt it left you for a while, or did you just think, well, it's just part of the course?
Disheartened when we lost the right to use the name. Yes, I did. I was very upset about that. But it didn't stop me. It didn't make me want to, throw the towel in. No, I love my job. I love stars. I like all the extra stuff that I do. It's a very interesting life that I lead, and I don't want it to stop. So yes, there have been things that have come in the way that have postponed us or put us off course or whatever. But if you stick with it, you come back fighting, then in my opinion, all's good.
And also as well, like because with the Fizz as well, you've had sort of like obviously your high ups and lows, but after these sort of like 50 years, and obviously winning Eurovision was a highlight. But what other sort of like has been sort of like highlights to you? It could be just sort of like, was it like your second record? You said getting a record contract. What was sort of like the highlights to sort of use it as a say, well, we've really arrived here. What was the sort of turning point?
after winning Eurovision, really. And yes, we signed a 6-month contract with our record label. So had we not won the Eurovision, I should think that that contract wouldn't have been renewed. And we may not have released Land of Make Believe, because the follow-up to Making Your Mind Up 3 months later was Piece of the Action. So that was one of those nights. And that would have been the 6-month period. Piece of the Action went to number 12 in the UK charts, and one of those nights went to 20. So that's when the record label might have thought, well, now, we're flogging a dead horse. Let's cancel the contract. But thankfully, we won the Eurovision, and the contract was extended. Land of Make Believe was written and turned everything around. And it was. I would think that was it's all down to winning the Eurovision. The difference between winning and losing, because even when we went into the Eurovision, we were already number 5 in the charts, so we had a top 5 hit on our hands already. But winning meant the whole different. Winning meant going to number 1 and going to number 1 in countries all around the world. So that was definitely a defining moment in my life, I would say.
So here we're talking to, anyway, wearing Cheryl Baker, and this is going to kick off at the end of this month on Wednesday. The first day is in Salford, the Lowry. I don't know if you've been to the Lowry before in Salford, but it's an absolutely beautiful place. And that kicks off on the 25th of March at Manchester. And you're doing London, the Pheasantry Theatre, is it, as well, the night after on the 26th. And then on Friday the 27th, you're doing Seven Oaks Stag Plaza as well. So just 3 dates. Are these the only sort of dates you're doing? Are you testing the water with these things, or will there be more dates?
In how it goes, if they're successful, and if they are, then I'll do more of a nationwide tour. I will still be working with Fizz. There's no way that I'm going to, finish that, because I love it so much. But it'd be nice to have the two jobs, if you like, hand in hand. So I'll be, if these 3 are successful, then a nationwide tour hopefully will happen after.
Well, I'm going to try and get down on the end of this month, the 25th. I only sort of seen the Fizz once, and that was at the Plaza where you played Stockport in 2017. And this night is going to be brilliant. I just know it is, because the one thing from being a music fan and seeing sort of all my favourite bands and artists over the years is that you guys are so engaging with the crowd. You interact and stuff like that. And there's not a lot of artists sort of do that. Because a lot of bands and artists have just got this, well, this is our job, you're the audience, you applaud, we sing, and we go home, and that's it. And it was really funny, because at the end of that night, I was chatting to a fan outside, and she was like, I've seen the Fizz like 20 times, and I'm like, all right, but don't rub it in, this is my first time. And she was like, what did you think? And I was like, I thought it was brilliant. I thought it was just brilliant. And she said, she hit the perfect quote. She said, it's more like a night out with them, isn't it, than you actually see it. And I was like, dead on. That's absolutely dead on. Yeah.
Yeah, well, I think it's best. I like to go and see shows where people are being more personable, and it's great, especially like these gigs that I'm doing. They're in smaller venues, so you can see the whites of their eyes, and you can. When I do my shows as well, I'm going to be doing a Q&A, so I will be, chatting with them. I chat with the audience, and I like that. I like the audience to think that they're talking to a friend rather than watching, an untouchable sort of thing. So I'm glad you said that.
Well, it's just going to become natural to you, honestly, it really is. So, yeah, it's going to be, them 3 nights are going to be absolutely great, I just know it. Anyway, the tickets of where to go, you can go on the Fizz official, is that right? And the Fizz, there's a website called the Fizz Shop as well, .co.uk. You can get tickets there.
Or just contact the Lowry. If you just Google Cheryl Baker the Lowry, and the ticket link will come up.
Right, okay, Cheryl. Well, you have a great 3 nights doing them, and I'll try and catch you at the Salford Lowry on Wednesday.
Look forward to seeing you. Thanks ever so much.
Cheers, Cheryl. You take care. God bless.
Cheers.
Bye.
Bye-bye.